What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of Insightful Principles. This is episode 46, and I want to discuss in this episode the $2.3 trillion infrastructure plan that Biden recently discussed in these last couple of weeks. Now, this plan also includes a jobs package that's focused on repairing roads, bridges, transportation, and rebuilding school buildings as well as hospitals. And then I also want to discuss the investments that you can look at to take advantage of in the result of this infrastructure plan, because it's not only wise to be aware of what's in the plan, but also being able to structure your investments accordingly so you can be able to profit from the results of this plan within the coming years. Now, if you all can continue to like, subscribe, and share this video, that would be greatly appreciated. Leave a comment below this video and let me know how this was valuable for you. Now, I did want to say a disclaimer here before I move forward. My content is designed for informational and educational purposes only. Please consult with an advisor or a brokerage firm when making an investment decision. The information I give you, please do your own research and become aware of the risks when making an informed financial decision. You must understand your own risk tolerance, your time horizon, and be comfortable with making a specific investment decision. Now, there are four main areas with Biden's infrastructure plan. There's going to be $621 billion that's going to go towards the transportation industry. The second is quality of life at home, which will be $650 billion. The third aspect of the plan is focused on caregivers that take care of the elderly and people with disabilities. This amount comes out to $400 billion, and the final portion of the plan came out to $300 billion, which will be designated towards research, manufacturing, and development is how those funds are going to be allocated. Now, what I want to really talk about is what is going to be provided for the transportation industry. There's going to be $621 billion, as I mentioned earlier, going towards the industry, and is mainly focused on clean energy. And when I think about clean energy, I think about solar, I think about wind, I think about the electric vehicle space. And Biden is really focusing on putting money and creating tax incentives for people spending their money on electric vehicles. But as an investor, this is how you can profit and to be able to put your money in that space to be able to take advantage of this opportunity. Now, the government wants to spend $174 billion on electric vehicles and include a network of 500,000 EV stations by 2030. So that tells you how serious they are about pushing clean energy into the economy, moving from how we are accustomed to using gas for a lot of our vehicles to now transitioning over to electric and being able to have the necessary charging stations so you can be able to charge your electric vehicle. Now, as I mentioned, this whole plan is designed to promote more clean energy and to be more environmental conscious within the economy. So Biden is trying to move away from diesel vehicles, and he wants to replace it with electric vehicles. And bus fleets, it's also their intentions of being electric. They want that to also happen. And like I mentioned, there's going to continue to be more rebates and tax incentives for electric cars. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, all electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles that were purchased new in or after 2010 may be eligible for a federal income tax credit for up to $7,500. So that's a great incentive, but keep in mind that your vehicle has to be either new in or after 2010, and then it's also the two words that are key in that particular statistic is it has to be it may be, or they may be able to provide up to $7,500. So they may not give you the full amount, but you can get up to that. So definitely look at your state's requirements when it comes to the federal income tax credit to see if it can be applied for your electric vehicle. Now, two factors that determine this is both your income tax and also the size of the electric battery that you own. So a great website that you can use to see the state incentives and laws in the EV space is Alternative Fuels Data Center. Definitely a great website to check out. They have information all the way from private incentives, regulations, and the plans your state requires for electric vehicles. So, like I mentioned, as an investor, I think that investing in the electric charging station space is very wise with the amount of money that's being pushed for electric vehicles. I definitely think investing in the Teslas, the NIOs, there also is another company, Churchill Capital, which recently merged with an electric company called Lucid Motors. All of those are opportunities, but I also think that underneath the surface, you have the electric charging stations. And these are very wise because a lot of those car manufacturers that I mentioned, they need these charging stations to be able to move forward and to keep going. So I definitely think that couple companies that you want to look at: ChargePoint Holdings, ticker symbol CHPT. Also Blink Charging, their ticker symbol is BLNK. And Sensata Technologies Holding, their ticker symbol is ST. ChargePoint, they have over 30,000 places that you can charge an electric vehicle. Blink Charging also has thousands of EV stations as well. So I definitely think that this is a particular sector that you can focus on as the clean energy conversations continue to keep moving forward. Now, I also think that as an investor, you have to be wise and understand that investing in a stock is going to be more volatile than investing in, say, an ETF. So another great recommendation here that I would say is there's there's a clean energy ETF such as Global X, autonomous and electric vehicles. Their ticker symbol is DRIV. I recently invested in them. They're a great company. They have Toyota, they have Tesla in it, they have NIO, they have Intel. They have a lot of the companies that are focusing on the global and autonomous with the autonomous and electric vehicles. So I think as an investor, it's a very smart way to play it. Now, other areas that are going to be within this transportation funding is 115 billion is going towards repairing bridges, highways, roads, and main streets that are in need of critical repair. And then there's also going to be funding going towards airports, route expansion, and waterways. So the quality of life is going to be the second aspect of the infrastructure plan, and this is very vital to a lot of people at home, specifically ones that are watching this video. And there's going to be 650 billion that's going towards American homes, underground water infrastructure, school buildings, and broadband expansion. 213 billion will also help with building, preserving more than 2 million affordable homes and commercial buildings. And then there's also going to be an additional of 110 billion that will go to clean drinking water, including the replacement of lead pipes and service lines. So I think that that's going to be very helpful for a lot of people, a lot of Americans. They need to make sure that they have the necessary cleaning drinking water, making sure that our schools, our hospitals are having the necessary funding that's needed to be able to provide those services to everyone in the economy. Now, there's also going to be a 100 billion that's going to be used for reliable, affordable, high-speed internet throughout the U.S. And the goal is to make broadband universal for all Americans and drive down the cost of internet. So I think that the money that Biden are trying to put towards broadband, this is an excellent opportunity as an investor to investing in companies such as Cisco Systems, Apple, specifically with Apple with their push with 5G wireless. I think that that's very can be very helpful with being able to scale. And then also, I think it's just a smart way to invest in this sector, focusing on the broadband companies. Also, Qualcomm is another great stock that specializes in communication hardware. So I think that when it comes to the quality life at home, they're not only going to be providing funding with the the school buildings and making sure that necessary roads have repair. But then you have the broadband aspect where they're going to be helping with driving down the cost of internet and providing more reliable and affordable pricing and costs for internet. And I think that these companies have some excellent potential. Now, the third aspect of the plan is going to be concentrated on providing 400 billion to improve the access to quality, affordable home or community-based care for older people and also people with disabilities. So I think that that's going to be another aspect that's going to help a lot of the elderly, especially people out there that has disabilities. And then the last aspect of the infrastructure plan will be providing 480 billion towards research, development, and manufacturing. 300 billion in the plan will be designated for manufacturing, including support for domestic production of technologies and critical goods. And then also around 50 billion will go towards the semiconductor manufacturing and research space. So I think that you look at companies like AMD, NVIDIA, Intel, Texas Instruments, Taiwan Semiconductor. These will be great companies that are going to benefit off of the funding that's going to go towards manufacturing and research. And then the plan also plans to put 180 billion on new research and development with a priority on clean energy, fewer emissions, and climate change research. So that's pretty much the overview of what this plan is going to detail. Definitely take some time to do the research, learn more about the plan, see how the different tax incentives will impact you as an investor and also within the state that you live in. As always, if you can continue to like, subscribe, and share this video, I would greatly appreciate it. Continue to support the Patreon page where I create exclusive content for all of my supporters. I'll have all of that information in the link tree. And I did want to tell you all, thank you so much for tuning in into another episode of Insightful Principles, and take care.